like, and subscribe. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate you all and love you all so much. So the catacombs. What are they? Do you know? The 5 stories beneath Paris. There's 5 stories beneath the city of Paris in France. That is called the Catacombs. They're dark, they're damp, and they're very unsettling. And tonight we're going to go through the world of the dead. World of the dead. So, did you know that catacombs are not necessarily particular to Paris? Catacombs can be found in Spain, the United Kingdom, Portugal, and others around the world. But the Parisian catacombs are certainly the most well known. They were originally catacombs were originally just limestone mines. That's it. They were carved in the Parisian countryside and under the city. It started in the 1st century AD, 1st century, with the Gallo-Romans building, I think it's Lucia, now Paris. I think that's how you say it. Later, after the Franks took over, they built the Louvre, Notre Dame, city ramparts, and other pieces of Paris with the limestone that came out of the catacomb mines underneath the city. What do you think happens when you dig out so much limestone to build so many different things? It empties out the bottom and then makes the top very unstable, right? It hollows it out. Well, in the late 1700s, cemeteries were overflowing with people, and they were running out of space. But unfortunately, they let the problem go for so long, too long actually, and then a period of horrible torrential downpours came, and bodies from the cemeteries started to rise out of the ground, and they flowed into towns so people could go down there and look at them. They were beginning to shape it as a tourist attraction. People were sent down to put the bones into patterns and shapes like hearts and X's. It is said that the catacombs created an equality below ground that could never be attained above. Even in the revolution. So there's as any tale or story that goes that long of where it came from, what happened to it, how it got that way. Of course. There are so many opposing stories. You know, whether or not people have died as a result, getting lost in the catacombs. One man in particular that the Paris officials, or that history buffs know for sure, died down there, has been memorialized. His name was Filbert Asbert. He was looking for where alcohol was stored in the catacombs in 1793 and died 10 feet from an exit with a liquor bottle in his hand after getting lost. He is entombed in the catacombs as a precautionary tale to those who want to travel through the catacombs and see if they can't find something haunted, which people have done. Now, during World War II, French resistance fighters used catacombs as hideouts. Now, can you imagine being a soldier of war and they're hiding out? Alright, in the catacombs. And with all 7 million dead bodies. And not that far away, Germans were building bunkers for the Nazis. But I guess they didn't know that the catacombs were actually down there. It has also been a place for bars, movie screens, art, and concerts, and still to this day are used for these things. That is fascinating to me. The cataphile culture is fascinating. Obviously, there is a whole culture that has developed from the catacombs. And it's not for the faint of heart, I guess. Because they are a group of not organized, they're unorganized people who know the catacombs very, very well and go exploring through them at night. Now, some will give tours to visitors that do not know the city but want a good thrill, and they will pay them to go exploring, take them exploring through the catacombs at night. However, when asked, these people squeeze through the dark, deep, cave-like features and tunnels and bodies and skulls, and they get into secret rooms and pools, underground pools, and the catacombs are bright blue, bright blue. Some of the most interesting photos of the catacombs, they come from Nadar. His pseudonym for Gaspard Felix Donatjan, I think that's right. But he was a photographer in the 19th and 20th century. A very good one. And he would photograph sewers at the catacombs at night, and he would photograph the pools and the people that would lead him down there. His whole life, his family said that he was fixated on death. He believed that photography was a way to deal with the mourning process and with the dead. He made images because it was a tool, a means of understanding, coping with, psychologically dealing with and healing, getting over a dead one. But he made the images look beautiful as well. It was focused on symmetry and patterns of the bones in the catacombs. And everything was in scale. He worked very hard at it. He knew that in his time, not everyone would be able to experience the catacombs. So he wanted to bring that experience and impact to people that couldn't experience the catacombs themselves. He couldn't use people in his images because of the lengthy exposure times that he would use. Because it was so dark down there. So he would use mannequins in their place. Now tell me that you don't think some of the stories will wrap around mannequins being haunted by or possessed, just like dolls are possessed by spirits. I would be so scared to bring a conduit like that down there to a place where so many people had been murdered, killed, dead, anything. There's probably just as much as it, or more evil than there is good down there. The energy, I mean. But the mannequins helped to provide a sense of scaling for all his images and the size of the catacombs, deep dark places, the pools, the tunnels, the caves. The mannequins would help provide this to people so people would understand the size of the catacombs, but it's really hard to comprehend. 7 million bodies underneath the city of Paris, over hundreds of miles of dead bodies and skulls underneath the city. That is something that even if you would tour it would be mean, it's something that seriously, it's such a enormous, strange, bizarre kind of leading of circumstances. How the city was built with all that limestone, and then the bodies were overflowing, I'm sure, due to the plague and other plagues throughout the centuries. Then millions of bodies being put down there. I'm sure many people died going through there, getting lost. There is no real reason that has been found that this photographer had any reason to be so fixated on death. He was just born that way. He did not suffer any crushing loss as a child or as an adult. They don't know. Maybe not. Or maybe it was something else entirely. I don't know. But he was aware of the transitory nature of life in his own and through his photographs. But the question remains, why was he like this? And maybe he thought that the deep dive and search into photography and understanding of the catacombs would provide these answers to death for him. Even though it is made of skulls and other bones of the body, it is quite impressive. It is something that a lot of people don't really realize how large. I mean, I think everybody knows what the catacombs are. However, to really understand there's hundreds of miles with 7 million bodies. 7 million. That is a crazy number. Of bodies. It just doesn't. It's not even comprehensible to me. Truly. I don't understand it. So what do you think? The catacombs. The catacombs are. And for some reason, why is there a whole underground society and people that it's like a cult following to the catacombs? And how the bones are displayed is very, very creepy. Very creepy. The heads are on top of each other. They're split in half. They're cracked in half. You can see the noses on some of them are still there, like they've mummified. Some of them have flat heads, thin heads. Some of them look like babies. Some of them are women. Some of them look older. You can tell that how different people looked. Some look like they were vampires. Others like they could almost have This is only 41 miles. Square miles in area. Square miles in area. But the catacombs reportedly are spread over 200 miles long. So the winding, long, deep, dark tunnels extend way far beyond the city limits into the countryside, the hillsides. Do you know there are some regions that don't even show up on the maps as of today? There are unexplored regions miles and miles long that are still a mystery, not to the general public that go down there, but to the people that take care of these tunnels and the people that search through them every night. Still, to this day, are finding new parts of the catacombs. Isn't that crazy? When you walk up to the catacombs entrance, it says something in French just as you enter. There is a message engraved in the late 1700s over the catacombs entrance, and it is big, bold, black letters read, "Stop. You're entering the Empire of the Dead. Stop. You're entering the Empire of the Dead." So, I mean, come on. No matter how brave you are, to be in a dark, dingy, cold, tight atmosphere with all of these souls staring at you, these empty eyes in the dark, and hundreds of miles that have not been discovered or understood. No matter how brave of a person you are, no matter how much you love to be scared in the middle of the night, the thought of going through the catacombs has to send a tingle of fear. Tingle, 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 tingle. something happened to a group that wandered off high or drunk and they got lost to find them, to find them, to find them. And the walls, as you look at them, are literally, they just are haunting in themselves. So it would mess with your mind. Definitely. Another interesting fact, though, people used to grow mushrooms in the catacombs. Mushrooms, because it was so dark and damp. Back in the 19th century, a man, Mr. Jambry, he noticed a bunch of wild mushrooms growing in the underground tunnels. So that's where he got this idea to grow mushrooms in these catacomb tunnels. He did get permission from the Horticulture Society of Paris and got to work with growing button mushrooms. So several hundred farmers followed his idea and began growing crop after crop after crops of button mushrooms down there. But think about it, if you are a person who likes to, delve into the horticultural area of hobbies, you would know that bone meal is very good for plants. So you might wonder if the bodies, the bones that are buried down there fed the mushroom crops, because that is a good source of nutrition for plants and soil. To even get down there, you have to climb down a long staircase to even reach them. And there's all these warning signs of what not to do. What you're doing is not okay. It is, remember, 5 floors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 floors under the ground. I mean, it is not only large in size, but deep in depth. You descend down this very creepy spiral turning staircase of 131 steps going down and 112 steps for coming up. Remember this. If you have to go down all those stairs, you also have to come up. We were talking about earlier how many people had died because 180 miles of unexplored tunnels are down there. Anybody unfamiliar with the area much as you go underground, it's gonna stay about the same, within a few degrees, but it would be warmer in the winters. Yeah, it maintains a temperature of 12 to 13 degrees Celsius. The temperature dips to sub-zero in Paris. You can always count on the catacombs to be 13 to 12 degrees Celsius. But it is always slightly cold even in the summer or the winters because it's very dark and damp. And of course there's no electricity down there. There's no light. Can you imagine walking through the catacombs at night? Or even during the day because it's 5 stories down. 5 stories down. There are many secret entrances. Many secret entrances. There is only one official entrance to the catacombs, to the catacombs, to the catacombs. There are over 300 secret entrances to the catacombs, and they are scattered across the city and are apparently known to only the cataphile community. Their entrances are found in forms of manholes, metro stations, sewers, things like that. This cataphile community uses this knowledge, these secret knowledge, to enter and exit and work their way through the tunnels undetected and hold secret meetings. So do you think that there are things that go on down there that we don't know of? There are 300 secret entrances to the catacombs. 300 secret entrances, you have to think. And there's a whole community that knows where they are. You just have to think that something is going on down there that the public does not know about, or I think so. I believe this wholeheartedly. Even though all these 7 million people are, the bones are there, the remains of the dead, and once they were buried as their final resting place, because remember after they were put there, then people went down there to rearrange them into almost a piece of art. So you don't know if one person's whole body is even there. Could be his head, and then his arms and legs and feet are other places, right? I mean, they didn't know the bodies would just fall apart. A group of priests, only job appointed to bless the remains of the people who were moved from the cemeteries into the catacombs. So 7 million people, as they were moved in the 15 months, each one were blessed. How did they do this? They would accompany the bodies as they were being transferred into the depths of these tunnels and put there, and they would sing holy chants along the way. And then once everything was over and was actually the leader who directed senior leaders from his army to oversee the beautification of the catacombs into a tourist-friendly attraction. Does that surprise you? It doesn't really surprise me at all, actually. So you already know that it goes deep underground, but how deep does it go? 65 feet below the surface of the city. Do you know that's as deep as a five-story building? 5-story building. A 5-story building is how deep it goes down into the city. Down into the city. Beneath the city. Down beneath the city. The city. The city. So, how much is open to the public out of the 200 miles and 180 miles of the tunnels that have never been even officially discovered or found out or checked out? Only 1.1 miles of the original catacombs are available for tourists and the general public to visit. The rest is illegal to go through. And of course, unless you know a friend of a friend of a friend who can take you down there into the long, winding, cold, dark, deep tunnels at night, through one of the 300 secret entrances. There are criminal gangs that use these tunnels to hang out and carry out very sinister activities. And that is also something to be concerned about if you wanted to go touring the catacombs at night, because you don't know if you're going to become part of the sinister activity of the criminal gangs that hang out down there. If you didn't already know this, but it is literally the world's largest graveyard, harboring 7 million people. 7 million people down there. No other cemetery obviously has ever come close. I mean, that is a lot of